We ended up recording the album in my bar with a mobile unit, which is actually the old Stones mobile. Although we'd used that mobile for the Made in England and one or two other things in the past, we ended up recording with a really good live sound because it was like ambient sound in the room. It's basically the room is where we rehearse and write stuff for the albums and stuff. So it was a very natural way of working, very good ambient sound in there. Martin had obviously used the mobile unit quite a few times with us and even with bands in the past like Deep Purple and people like that. So it was quite a natural way of doing things, really. But the reason it came about was because we were supposed to actually record at Battery Studios in April, and the material for the album came together so quick. We was actually finished by the end of January, whereas in fact we'd actually given ourselves like January, February, March to actually write the stuff. Because it was finished so quick, we just decided that we wanted to, we didn't want to wait around like 2 or 3 months to actually get in the studio, because we wanted to keep up the energy level and just the fact we were all fired up and everything, we were really raring to go. So we decided to get the mobile down and try it out, and the sound of the room was, really, really, really good. So we just went for it. Yeah, the next track you're going to hear is Holy Smoke, and in actual fact, that was the first single, but in actual fact, we didn't really intend that to be the first single, first of all. We thought it was probably going to be Hooks in You, but then we all sort of got together and just decided that we thought, Hooks wouldn't make, the best first single, so we decided to go with Holy Smoke. And as it turned out as well, I mean, I'd also had been doing stuff with video for that. That wasn't actually what sort of swayed the balance of the releasing it as a first single or anything, but I'd also already been filming some stuff on video stuff, just like messing about and everything, like, for Holy Smoke and for Tail Gunner. Because I just felt that, we could do a couple of other sort of promos which, get a bit more depth out promo-wise for the album. Because originally we intended Hooks and probably Daughter to be the singles. But Holy Smoke ended up being the first one. Some people have said that the direction of this album is, a bit heavier than some of the previous albums, but it's purely just a natural thing. We didn't actually sort of say, we're going to go in this direction or that direction. Like the last album was actually quite a bit sort of along the lines, maybe a little bit progressive perhaps. And same thing with that. I mean, it wasn't like we sat down and said we want to go progressive or whatever. It's just a natural thing. We just go in and write the songs, and they come out as they come out. But I think the fact that we did it in a live sort of situation of, recording with a mobile, everything was done in like 1 or 2 takes. The fact that, Yannick came into the band, is a combination of all these factors. Just made it sort of come out a bit more, I think, on the edge, if you like, but very much like as if it was, recorded live, which is obviously where, Maiden's best thing is, actually performing on stage. And I think it's the most live-sounding album we've ever had, so, we've always been trying to work towards that, but I think we've really seemed to have captured it with this one. Tail Gunner, we also actually thought possibly could be a single as well. That's not to say that we're going to release any more than 2 singles off this album, because we won't be doing that. But I think it would have definitely been a possibility. So it's a really good song. It makes a really good opener for the album, that's for sure. And again, I've done some footage for that, which, we'll see whether that would end up being a promo video as well. I did some stuff for that, like when we were actually, recording and around, the local farm area and all that. And also we're going to do some live stuff for it as well. So that may well end up being a video promo. But we'll have to see. With Yannick, he actually got thrown in the deep end a little bit, really, because we just found, after this thing all went down with Adrian, and Adrian actually went from the band. The day after, we just phoned Yannick up and said, look, would you be interested in coming down? He was pretty shocked, And we just said, look, can you learn 4 songs by tomorrow? And the songs we asked him to learn was Trooper, Children of the Damned, Iron Maiden, and The Prisoner, just to give a sort of cross-section of stuff, And he came down and it was like a supercharge. It was brilliant. I mean, he was obviously getting off on the fact that we were so sort of, energy-wise, into the material and really fired up and everything. And we got off on the fact that he was just like so into it, and it was, brilliant. It was really exciting. And it was lucky, really, because, I mean, if Yannick hadn't worked out, we'd have been in a situation of actually recording, because we'd already started recording. Me and Nico had already laid the bass and drums down to The Assassin, And we'd have been in a situation where we were actually auditioning while we were recording, which would have been pretty, bad situation to be in. So we were pretty lucky that he worked out well. Public Enemy was actually written by Davey. He wrote the music and Bruce wrote the lyrics. And it's actually one of my favourite songs on the album. I think it's, a really heavy song. I can't wait to play it live. The reason why we ended up doing like a smaller sort of theatre type tour, and then the Wembleys and NECs and blah blah blah, is because really we wanted the first part of the tour. We just thought it'd be great, especially after having 2 years off anyway, to actually sort of come back and play, some of the small places that we sort of played years ago. Also, because we, like, everybody travelled out to see us at Donington, we just felt that we should, this time round, it's only fair, to go back and see the people and play to the people, sort of in their own areas, more or less. There's a couple of places we wanted to play, like Bristol, Colston, and places like that on the tour that we couldn't play because we couldn't get the venues. Otherwise, we'd have done them as well. But I think pretty much, we've managed to get around pretty much everywhere. Then, of course, you always get the problem of people, moaning because they can't get tickets or whatever. So we did, the Wembleys and NECs as well. So hopefully it's the best of both worlds. I mean, people, when if you only play the Wembleys and NECs, people moan because they can't, you get stuck at the back and they can't see or whatever. But then people also moan because, if you play a small place, because they can't get in, so you can't win, can you? Originally, No Prayer for the Dying was going to be called A Prayer for the Dying, but when we thought that Eddie probably wouldn't give anybody a prayer, so we ended up calling it No Prayer.